Today we are pulling back the plastic on 7 smoked salmon products in Australia that look premium and healthy, but are actually ultra-processed, farmed under heavy antibiotic use, or linked to food safety warnings for vulnerable people. Stay with me until the end, because I will show you the smoked salmon options and one plant-based pick that are actually worth putting on your bagel, salad, or breakfast plate. We have been sold smoked salmon as a healthy luxury. High protein, good fats, a touch of European style on Australian toast, perfect for brunch, clean lunches, and Christmas canapes. But here is what you are rarely told. Most smoked salmon in our supermarkets is not wild, not local, and not just salmon and smoke. It is intensively farmed Atlantic salmon, often from Tasmania or Northern Europe, run through factories, vacuum-sealed, and shipped long distances. Cold smoked salmon has been repeatedly flagged as a higher-risk food for Listeria for pregnant women, older people, and anyone with a weakened immune system. On top of that, some products are not truly smoked at all. They are cooked fish with natural smoke flavor added, or heavily processed pâtés and ready meals packed with seed oils, starches, and preservatives. So when you see smoked salmon in the fridge, you are often looking at a luxury image wrapped around a very different reality. Number 1. Woolworths Salmon, naturally smoked 95-gram tin, smoke flavor in a can. Woolworths salmon, naturally smoked in the 95-gram tin, is the kind of little can people grab for a healthy lunch. It sounds simple and clean. Salmon naturally smoked, easy pantry protein for salads, crackers, or sandwiches. But if you turn it over, the ingredient list tells a different story. Salmon at about 73%, water, sunflower oil, salt, chili powder, cornstarch, natural smoke flavor, and garlic powder. So what is going on here? Instead of actually cold smoking whole salmon fillets with real wood smoke and then slicing them, this product is cooked salmon pieces in oil, seasoned and dosed with natural smoke flavor to mimic the taste of smoking. The main fat in the tin is not oil from the fish. It is added sunflower oil, a cheap seed oil that has nothing to do with traditional smoked salmon. In your mouth you can feel it. A heavy, oily coating from the sunflower oil, a blunt, one-dimensional smoky smell that tastes like bottled flavoring, not slow wood smoke. Bits of salmon that feel more like a flavored tuna can than real smoked fillet. The label suggests naturally smoked wholesome salmon and an easy way to get your omega-3 fats. What it really means is a 73% fish product bulked out with water, seed oil, starch and powdered flavorings, and smoke taste from a bottle, not from beechwood or applewood. If you have ever thought, at least I am choosing smoked salmon, that is the classy, healthy option, this little tin is your wake-up call. And if you thought that was bad, number 2 shows how a respected South Australian smokehouse ended up on the national recall list with multiple smoked salmon products. Number 2, Harris Smokehouse smoked salmon, pâtés and smoked fish, Listeria recall warning. Harris Smokehouse is one of those brands people trust instinctively. It is a family-owned South Australian smokehouse with rustic branding, sold through independent retailers and independent supermarkets, perfect for grazing boards and fancier lunches. But in 2022, Harris Smokehouse had to recall several smoked salmon products because of possible contamination with Listeria bacteria. The recall covered smoked salmon patties, smashed smoked salmon-style spreads, and packs of premium smoked salmon in different sizes. The official recall notice was very clear. The problem was possible contamination with Listeria monocytogenes. The hazard was that Listeria may cause illness in pregnant women and their unborn babies, older people, and people with low immune systems. The advice was that consumers should not eat these products and should return them for a refund. So why is this a problem beyond one recall? Because ready-to-eat cold smoked salmon and salmon pâtés are exactly the kinds of foods regulators regularly warn high-risk people about. Cold smoking happens at low temperatures that do not reliably kill Listeria, and the bacteria can grow in vacuum-packed fish stored in the refrigerator over time. The branding suggests gourmet deli-style smoked salmon and a step up from cheap supermarket slices. The reality is that even reputable smokehouses can end up on recall lists for Listeria, and pâtés and smash spreads are an extra high-risk format for vulnerable people because any bacteria present can be spread throughout the entire mix. If you have ever put a smoked salmon pâté on a pregnancy grazing board thinking it was a lighter protein option, this should make you stop and think. And if you think that is just one brand having a bad week, number 3 is where we zoom out on the entire Tasmanian salmon industry your premium smoked slices often come from. Number 3, Big Tasmanian farmed smoked salmon, Huon Tassal, and the antibiotic question. Most of the Tasmanian smoked salmon you see in Australian supermarkets, from brands like Huon Tassal and some supermarket private label products, comes from intensive Atlantic salmon farms in coastal leases, not from wild fish. For years, marketing has leaned hard on images of pristine Tasmanian waters, clean and green imagery, and phrases like naturally raised in the cold Southern Ocean, but this is where things get uncomfortable. Investigative reporting in recent years has revealed that large salmon companies in Tasmania have used significant quantities of antibiotics, such as oxytetracycline, to control disease in some farm leases. In at least one case, company reports to the environmental regulator showed that more than a ton of antibiotic was used over a short period at a single lease, and antibiotic residues were later detected in wild fish caught some distance away and in sediments near the cages. At the same time, official monitoring has recorded very large numbers of dead farmed salmon in Tasmania within short timeframes, with company reports running into thousands of tons of mortalities over a matter of months. Tasmanian smoked salmon had also been in the spotlight after a Listeria outbreak in Australia in 2019 was linked by investigators to smoked salmon from the state. Several older people with underlying health issues became ill, and 2 of them died. Authorities stressed that there were no breaches of regulations and no recall was ordered, but they also reminded pregnant women, older people, and people with weakened immune systems to avoid cold smoked salmon altogether. So, when you pick up a pack of premium Tasmanian cold-smoked salmon from a big brand, what does that actually mean? On the surface, you see smooth marketing about clean oceans and a luxury image for brunch and platters. Underneath, you are dealing with fish from dense industrial farms that have at times needed large antibiotic interventions to control disease, and with a product type, cold, smoked, ready-to-eat salmon that food safety experts class as higher risk for Listeria in susceptible people. Many shoppers still see Tasmanian smoked salmon as the gold standard, but once you know about the antibiotic stories, the mass mortalities, and the Listeria warnings, that gold starts to look a lot more tarnished. And if you think, fine, I will just buy the marinated salmon fillets in the chilled section instead, they look more real. Number 4 is where your healthy salmon dinner turns into a full-blown processed product. Number 4, Ocean Blue steamed salmon fillet with honey and soy, more sauce than salmon. Ocean Blue is a major smoked seafood brand on Australian shelves, especially at Woolworths. Some of their sliced smoked salmon lines are relatively simple, based on salmon, salt, and natural wood smoke. But once you move into their steamed salmon fillet with honey and soy-style products, the ingredient list grows quickly. Take Ocean Blue steamed salmon fillet with honey and soy at around 140 grams. The ingredients break down roughly like this: Norwegian Atlantic salmon at just over 77%, and then a honey and soy sauce mix, taking up more than 1/5 of the product. That sauce mix can include soy sauce made from water, soy, wheat, and salt, plus honey, vinegar, brown sugar, spices, modified starch, spice extracts, herb extracts, preservatives such as potassium sorbate and sodium benzoate, caramelized sugar, stabilizers and sea salt. So instead of being a simple smoked fish, you now have just over 3/4 actual salmon and almost 1/4 sauce with sugars, modified starch, thickeners and preservatives. In your mouth it tastes good, sweet and salty with a strong soy note. But that is exactly the point. The flavor is driven more by the marinade chemistry than by the fish itself. The front of the packet suggests steamed salmon fillet, a convenient, healthy protein option with a light Asian twist. What it really means is an ultra-processed ready meal component with a long ingredient list, preservatives to keep it shelf-stable, and enough sugar and sauce to turn dinner into more of a glazed snack. If you thought you were dodging the pitfalls of cold smoked salmon by grabbing these healthy convenience fillets, you have basically swapped Listeria risk for heavy processing and additives. And if you are thinking, all right, I will just go with the classic sliced smoked salmon, that has to be closer to real, number 5 shows how even those can be a long way from the wild salmon image in your head. Number 5, budget imported smoked salmon slices, industrial fish in fancy clothing. If you look closely at a lot of the sliced smoked salmon in Australian supermarkets and warehouse clubs, you will see the same pattern. Norwegian Atlantic salmon on the label, product of Denmark or of the European Union. Brand names like Ocean Blue or Norlax. For example, an Ocean Blue smoked salmon pack might list Norwegian Atlantic salmon at 97% plus salt, a small amount of acidity regulator such as sodium acetate and natural wood smoke. A Norlax double-smoked salmon sold at a bulk warehouse might list Norwegian Atlantic salmon at 97%, plus sea salt and natural wood smoke, and be produced in Denmark. Compared with the tins and pâtés we have already seen, these actually look pretty clean on paper, mostly fish, salt and wood smoke, with maybe one simple additive. So what is the issue? The issue here is more about what they are not. They are not wild salmon. They are farmed Atlantic salmon from Norway's intensive aquaculture industry. They are not local. They travel thousands of kilometers in a cold chain to reach Australian shelves. They are not artisanal. They are standardized, industrially smoked products, made to be as uniform as possible, batch after batch. The branding leans on phrases such as hand-selected and responsibly sourced, premium grade, natural smoke, and superior slice. But the reality is that you are buying into the global farmed salmon machine, with all its environmental debates, feed issues, and stocking density questions, just in a more glamorous wrapper. The words double-smoked or natural wood smoke do not change the fact that this is a highly standardized protein commodity. If you want occasional imported smoked salmon, these might be fine. But if your mental picture is wild salmon roaming pristine fjords and a village smokehouse, that is not what is happening here. And if that still feels too abstract, number 6 takes not real salmon to a whole new level, because some of what looks like smoked salmon in the fridge is not even fish. Number 6, plant-based smoked salmon slices when salmon is not salmon. If you walk into some specialty or health food stores now, you will see orange ribbon-like slices laid out just like smoked salmon, but with labels like smoked not salmon or plant salmon. The uproot smoked not salmon sold in Australia makes no secret of being plant-based. It is made from thinly sliced Australian carrots, marinated carefully for smoky flavor. It is fully vegan and promoted as having no gums, fillers, or preservatives. Other plant-based smoked salmon-style slices, such as plant salmon smoked slices, take a more industrial approach. They can be built from water, modified starches, rice flour, thickeners such as carrageenan, konjac gum, and locust bean gum, rice protein, flavorings and yeast extract, coloring ingredients such as red pepper juice and beetroot juice, flaxseed oil, acidity regulators, and other additives. So, what is the problem here? If you are vegan and you choose a carrot-based product like Uproot because you like the taste and you know it is made from carrots, that is fine. The issue is when the packaging and the presentation blur the line so much that people start to think these products are a straight nutritional swap for real smoked salmon. They are not. No matter how well they are flavored, they do not provide the same full amino acid profile and marine-sourced omega-3 fats as actual salmon. Many of the more processed plant versions rely on starches, gums, and colors to fake the texture and look. The front suggests a one-for-one swap with salmon slices, smoked salmon-style luxury without the fish. The reality is either a whole food carrot product that is honest but not nutritionally equivalent, or a highly processed starch and gum construction trying very hard to look like fish. If you are plant-based, there is nothing wrong with enjoying these as exactly what they are, but they are literally not real smoked salmon, and pretending otherwise just adds to the confusion. And if you think, well, I will just stick to proper cold smoked salmon slices, that is at least the real thing. Number 7 is where the safety warnings get very real for certain people, no matter which brand you buy. Number 7. Pre-sliced cold smoked salmon, a hidden high-risk food for vulnerable Australians. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Even the cleanest label, wood-smoked, a premium sliced salmon, has a serious warning attached if you are pregnant, older, or immune-compromised. Food Standards Australia, New Zealand, and the New South Wales Food Authority both highlight cold smoked salmon as a significant risk for Listeria monocytogenes for susceptible people. Cold smoking happens at temperatures far below what is needed to kill Listeria bacteria. If Listeria is present on the raw fish, the salting and smoking steps may reduce it, but do not reliably remove it completely. In vacuum-packed, refrigerated conditions, Listeria can survive and even grow over the product's shelf life. Food safety reviews have noted that, over the last decade, there have been several Listeria-related seafood recalls in Australia that involved smoked fish. In one widely reported incident in 2019, 4 older Australians with underlying health conditions became ill after eating smoked salmon, and 2 of them died. This risk does not just apply to one brand. It applies to every vacuum-sealed, cold-smoked salmon, including Huon, Tassel, Ocean Blue, Norlax, supermarket-owned labels, and imported brands. If you are generally healthy, and you eat it occasionally, health authorities say your overall risk is low. But if you are pregnant, older, or have a weakened immune system, the official advice is clear. Avoid cold smoked salmon and smoked seafood. The front of the pack sells this as a clean, high-protein, omega-3 rich health food. For vulnerable groups, the science at the back end says it is a higher-risk, ready-to-eat product that can carry a pathogen with potentially serious consequences. That is the definition of not what you think you are buying. The pattern: how smoked salmon lost the plot. Across all 7 products, the same pattern shows up. Flavor replaces real process, with smoke flavor in tins and sauces, standing in for slow wood smoking. Industrial farming hides behind pristine marketing, with Tasmanian and Norwegian salmon sold as clean and natural despite disease problems, antibiotic use, and mass fish deaths. Ultra-processed extras creep in through pâtés, smashed spreads, and marinated fillets loaded with sugar, thickeners, and preservatives. Cold-smoked slices carry serious Listeria warnings for pregnant women, older people, and immune-compromised people, no matter which brand you buy. And then there are look-alike plant options that mimic salmon visually but are really carrots or starches, blurring what you are actually eating. We have gone from fresh fish, salted and gently smoked over real wood, to a fridge full of packets where smoked salmon can mean anything from farmed fillets to smoke-flavored tins to heavily processed pâtés. So if you still want that smoked salmon hit without swallowing the whole industrial story, Here are the options that are actually worth your time. Safer option 1. Simple ingredient smoked salmon, just salmon, salt and wood smoke. The easiest upgrade is to pick smoked salmon that reads like a recipe, not like a laboratory sheet. Look for packets where the ingredients are basically salmon, salt and natural wood smoke. For example, a Woolworths Wood smoked and sliced smoked salmon natural pack lists Atlantic salmon, salt and natural wood smoke, with no oils, added flavorings or preservatives. An Ocean Blue sliced double smoked salmon natural pack lists Norwegian Atlantic salmon, sea salt and natural wood smoke. A Coles hot smoked salmon with pepper lists Tasmanian Atlantic salmon, salt and pepper. These still come from farmed fish and still carry the general Listeria caution for cold smoked products, but at least you are not piling stabilizers, seed oils and sugary sauces on top. Use them as occasional treats on bagels and salads, or in cooked dishes where you heat them through, which also helps reduce microbial risk. Safer option 2. Small batch smokehouses that show their process. If you want to get closer to real smoked salmon, look for small Tasmanian and regional smokehouses that actually show you how they work. Woodbridge Smokehouse in Tasmania is one example. They describe dry curing salmon or ocean trout for about 24 hours in a hand-mixed salt and sugar cure, then cold smoking for another day at low temperature, and for hot smoked products, finishing over a naked fire using organic applewood chips from their own orchard. They focus on a slow process, real smoke flavor and texture, not just pumping out volume. This does not remove the built-in Listeria risk of cold-smoked fish for vulnerable people, but compared with anonymous industrial slices from overseas factories, at least you know who is making your salmon and how. If you can afford it, swapping budget slices every week for small batch smoked salmon a few times a year is a powerful trade-up. Safer option 3. Hot smoked or cooked salmon instead of cold smoked. Food safety experts draw a key line between hot smoked and cold smoked salmon. Proper hot smoked salmon and cooked salmon products, which reach safe internal temperatures, can inactivate Listeria, while cold smoked products may not. That makes hot smoked salmon chunks, when produced and handled correctly, a better choice than cold smoked slices for people at higher risk. Look for the words hot smoked salmon on the label, and for products you plan to heat again in quiches, pastas, pies, or on hot potatoes. You still need to store and handle hot smoked salmon properly, but for Listeria risk, it is usually a safer lane than piling cold smoked slices on a pregnancy brunch board. Safer option 4. Whole food plant alternatives that do not pretend to be fish. If you are plant-based or just want a non-fish option, choose products that are honest about what they are. Uproot smoked. Not salmon is a good example. It is made from thinly sliced Australian carrots, marinated for a smoky, savory flavor, and it is free from gums, fillers, and preservatives. You can see clearly that you are buying a carrot product, not a nutritional copy of salmon. Use it where you would use smoked salmon visually, on bagels, salads and platters. But make sure you add other whole food protein sources like beans, tofu or tempeh to cover your protein needs. That is very different from ultra-processed plant salmon slices built on starches, gums and colorings. How to bring smoked salmon back to real food. Australian food culture slid from fresh fish, salt, smoke and a squeeze of lemon to antibiotic-dependent fish farms, global cold chains, smoke-flavored tins in seed oil, sugar-heavy marinades, pâtés on recall lists, and cold smoked slices that health agencies quietly tell pregnant women to avoid. We let the word smoked trick us into thinking everything in that section of the fridge was automatically gourmet and good for us. You do not have to give up smoked salmon forever. You do need to be choosier. Next time you reach for a packet, use this 3-step check. First, count the ingredients. If it is more than salmon, salt and smoke, ask yourself why. Second, check the format. Pâtés, Smashed spreads and cold smoked slices are higher risk for listeria, especially if you are pregnant, older, or immune compromised. Third, look at the story. Is it anonymous imported farmed salmon or a local smokehouse that actually tells you how they cure and smoke their fish? If this video made you want to check what is really in the smoked salmon in your refrigerator right now, hit like so more Australians see it. If you want more deep dives that protect your plate, your health, and your family from quiet supermarket shortcuts, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We are not done with the so-called healthy aisle yet. And tell me in the comments which part shocked you the most, the smoke-flavored tins, the Tasmanian antibiotic story, or the Listeria warnings on cold smoked salmon and pâtés. Share your experience below so other Australians know exactly which smoked salmon products to dump and which real simple options their bodies will actually thank them for.